HFY Sci-Fi and Retribution. The night sky above New Geneva erupted with prismatic light as the Vexari vessels broke through the atmosphere. Their ships, crystalline structures that seemed to flow like liquid glass, cast rainbow refractions across the city's gleaming towers. Commander Ilara Reeves stood on the observation deck of the United Earth Defense Headquarters, her weathered face illuminated by the alien light show. "Beautiful, aren't they?" remarked Director Pascal beside her, his eyes wide with childlike wonder. "Beautiful things can be deadly," Ilara replied, unconsciously adjusting the pulse pistol holstered at her hip. 26 years in Earth's defense forces had taught her caution often outlived awe. The world watched as the Vexari delegation emerged from their vessels. They stood nearly 8 feet tall with translucent skin that revealed complex circulatory systems pulsing with bioluminescent fluid. Their four-armed bodies moved with unsettling grace, and their eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle, blinked in hypnotic asynchrony. Prime Delegate Soren addressed the assembled world leaders, his voice melodic and soothing through some unseen translation mechanism. "People of Earth, we come as friends. The Vexari Concordat has observed your remarkable species for generations. Your resilience, your adaptability, your unwavering spirit. These qualities make you unique among sentient beings. We wish to welcome you to the Galactic community." The crowd erupted in applause. Humanity's long isolation was finally over. Within months, Vexari embassies appeared in every major city. Their technological gifts transformed Earth overnight. Quantum fusion reactors eliminated energy scarcity. Nanomedical systems eradicated diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia, and atmospheric processors began reversing centuries of environmental damage. Ilara found herself appointed as security liaison to the Vexari Scientific Exchange Initiative. Her partner, a Vexari scientist named Nelith, worked with unsettling efficiency. "Your species adapts with remarkable speed," Nelith observed one afternoon as they monitored the implementation of Vexari agricultural enhancements. "Most species require decades to integrate with harmonic resonance technology. Humans have done it in months." "Desperation breeds innovation," Ilara replied. "We've spent our history on the edge of extinction. It makes us quick studies." Nelith's central eye narrowed slightly. "Yes, your survival instinct is noteworthy." 6 months into humanity's golden age, Ilara noticed subtle changes. Citizens who received Vexari medical treatments exhibited altered behavior, increased docility, enhanced productivity, and unwavering support for expanded Vexari presence on Earth. When she voiced concerns to her superiors, she was reassigned to a remote monitoring station in Antarctica. It was there, among the ancient ice, that Ilara stumbled upon the truth. A misdirected data packet, intercepted by the station's outdated security systems, contained unencrypted Vexari communications. Her military-grade neural translator began decoding fragments. Neural harvesting proceeding beyond projections. Human minds exceptionally compatible with the Nexus. 8 billion processing nodes. Vessel preparation at 73% completion. The revelation struck Ilara like physical blow. The miracle medical treatments contained neural modifiers. The atmospheric processors emitted frequencies that enhanced the modifiers' effectiveness. The entire human race was being prepared for neural harvesting. Their minds destined to become living components in some vast Vexari computational network. Ilara downloaded everything she could access and fled the station before the Vexari realized their security breach. Her first attempts to warn humanity met with failure. Her military credentials had been revoked. News networks rejected her evidence as conspiracy theories. Social media platforms blocked her posts as dangerous misinformation. Meanwhile, the Vexari announced Phase 2 of their Uplift initiative. Direct neural interfaces that would enhance human cognitive abilities. Billions volunteered for the procedure. Within weeks, the enhanced began speaking with eerie similarity, advocating for greater Vexari authority and reporting their non-enhanced neighbors for rehabilitation. Ilara watched in horror as humanity willingly surrendered its autonomy. Government officials who questioned Vexari directives disappeared overnight. Military units loyal to human command were systematically disarmed by their enhanced colleagues. Processing centers appeared globally, where the remaining non-enhanced humans were taken for voluntary uplift. She went underground, connecting with others who had seen through the deception, soldiers, scientists, and civilians who valued their freedom. Among them was Dr. Sanjay Mehta, a neurobiologist who had worked on the human implementation of Vexari medical technology. The neural modifiers aren't enhancing human consciousness, Sanjay explained to their growing resistance cell. They're reformatting the human mind to serve as biological processors in the Vexari Nexus, a distributed computational system that powers their civilization. Why not just use machines? Asked Lai Chen, a former quantum engineer. Because consciousness creates computational possibilities that artificial systems cannot, Sanjay replied grimly. The Vexari don't build their technology, they grow it from harvested minds. And the process burns out the host species within a year. The resistance grew cautiously, establishing hidden bases in abandoned military bunkers and developing countermeasures against Vexari surveillance. They rescued those marked for processing and recruited from the ranks of the disillusioned. 1 year after first contact, humanity was divided into 3 groups. The enhanced serving as extensions of the Vexari consciousness, those awaiting processing in the global network of facilities, and the resistance fighting for human autonomy. Ilara stood at the viewport of their hidden command center beneath the Appalachian Mountains, watching Vexari ships patrol the night sky. The resistance had managed to secure this pre-war facility using old military protocols that had isolated it when the chain of command was compromised. "We have confirmation," Sanjay said, entering with a tablet displaying intercepted Vexari data. "They've begun full neural extraction at the Beijing facility. Thousands of processed humans every day." Ilara closed her eyes, absorbing the horror. How long until they've taken everyone in holding? At current rates, 2 months, maybe less. Then what? Asked Major Rivera, their head of security operations. "Then they come for us," Ilara said, turning from the viewport. "The last unprocessed humans on Earth." The room fell silent as the magnitude of their situation sank in. "There might be something," Lai said hesitantly. "I've been analyzing the quantum field the Vexari use to control their network, including the enhanced humans. There's a vulnerability in its structure." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "What kind of vulnerability?" "The field requires constant stabilization from the Vexari mothership. If we could disrupt it long enough and invert the signal frequency, we could potentially turn their network against them. That would require accessing their primary field generator," Sanjay warned. "On their mothership." Ilara looked around at the faces of humanity's last defense. Tired, afraid, but still defiantly human. "Then that's where we're going," she said, determination hardening her voice. The Vexari thought they found an easy conquest, a species they could harvest without consequence. Her fist tightened. They're about to discover they crossed the wrong damned species. As plans for humanity's desperate counterattack took shape, Vexari ships continued their silent patrol above, unaware that their carefully cultivated harvest was about to fight back. Resistance and Retribution. The resistance compound hummed with activity as Operation Sunburst entered its final preparation phase. 3 weeks of planning had culminated in humanity's last, desperate chance to strike back against the Vexari before the final processing centers completed their grim work. "Infiltration team is assembled," Major Rivera reported, his face haggard but determined. 8 of us, all immunized against the neural modifiers thanks to Sanjay's treatment. Ilara nodded, studying the holographic display of the Vexari mothership. "Diversionary forces positioned around all 5 major processing centers," confirmed Colonel Amara Singh, formerly of the Indian Special Forces. "They'll strike simultaneously when we give the signal." Dr. Lai Chen stepped forward, holding what appeared to be an ordinary data crystal. The signal inversion protocol is ready. If we can access their quantum field generator, this will reverse the network polarity and use their own system against them. Ilara looked at the assembled team. The last free humans capable of mounting a resistance. Most wouldn't survive the coming operation. She might not either. But humanity would. The Vexari made a critical mistake, she told them, her voice steady. They analyzed our technology, our biology, our resources, but they underestimated our spirit. They don't understand that humans don't surrender, even when logic says we should. Tonight, we teach them that lesson. The plan was audacious to the point of insanity. Using modified Vexari technology, they would transport directly onto the mothership disguised as processed humans being transferred for integration into the Nexus core. Meanwhile, resistance cells worldwide would launch simultaneous attacks on processing centers, creating a diversion that would draw Vexari attention planetside. As darkness fell across the Appalachians, Ilara stood on the transport pad with her infiltration team. Each wore the vacant expression and neural interface nodes of the processed. Each carried hidden weapons and components of Lai's inversion device. Remember, Ilara said quietly, we may be outnumbered and outgunned, but we have one advantage they'll never understand. We're fighting for our home. The world dissolved in a flash of quantum displacement. They materialized in a receiving chamber aboard the Vexari mothership, a vast cathedral of living crystal and pulsing light. Translucent walls revealed Earth suspended below them, beautiful and vulnerable. Two Vexari technicians approach, their three eyes scanning the new arrivals. Neural subjects for Nexus integration, one stated flatly. Proceed to processing chamber 6. They moved through the ship's cavernous corridors, maintaining their vacant expressions while memorizing the layout. The true horror of the Vexari operation became apparent as they passed vast chambers filled with thousands of suspended human bodies, neural energy being systematically extracted from them through glowing filaments connected to their skulls. Harvesting chambers, whispered Sanjay through their subvocal communication system. They're converting human consciousness directly into computational substrates. Stay focused, Ilara responded. Primary generator is 2 levels up. When they reached a junction with minimal surveillance, Ilara gave the signal. The team shed their passive disguises and moved with practiced efficiency. Rivera's security detail created a perimeter while Sanjay and Lai accessed a neural terminal, interfacing with the ship's systems. I've located the primary generator, Lai reported. Central core, level 5. But security protocols are intensive. How long to bypass them? Ilara asked. Too long. We need direct physical access. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. On the display terminal, they watched as Vexari defense ships launched toward Earth. The diversion worked, Rivera said grimly. But they'll realize we're aboard soon. Then we move now, Ilara ordered. Rivera, Singh, create chaos. Target secondary systems, draw attention away from the core. Sanjay, Lai, with me. The mothership became a battlefield as the resistance teams split up. Rivera's group launched attacks on the ship's propulsion systems, while Ilara led her team toward the generator core. They fought through Vexari security forces, crystalline sentinels that moved with fluid grace and fired energy weapons that disintegrated matter on contact. Humans had one advantage, unpredictability. Where Vexari moved with programmed perfection, humans improvised, using the ship's environment and the Vexari's own orderly nature against them. When they finally reached the generator core, a massive, pulsing crystal suspended in a chamber of swirling energy, they found Prime Delegate Soren waiting with a contingent of guards. Commander Reeves, Soren said, his melodic voice now cold. Your resistance is both illogical and futile. Humanity has been selected for the greatest honor, ascension into the Nexus. Your consciousness will serve the Concordat for eternity. We didn't ask for your honor, Ilara replied, weapon raised. Humanity chooses its own path. Choice is inefficient, Thorin stated. Your species wastes potential through its chaotic individualism. In the Nexus, you will find perfect purpose. We already have purpose, Ilara said. It's fighting monsters like you. The ensuing battle was brutal and swift. Ilara and her team fought with desperate ferocity, while Lai worked to install the inversion device on the generator. Sanjay fell protecting him from Vexeri fire. Ilara took a crystalline blade through her shoulder, but kept fighting, driving Thorin back toward the edge of the platform. You cannot defeat us, Thorin insisted as they faced off. We have harvested 12 species before yours. We have existed for millennia. Then you're overdue for extinction, Ilara growled, lunging forward. As they fought, Lai completed the installation. Inversion ready, but I need to manually trigger it. The automated sequence is damaged. Ilara understood what that meant. Whoever activated the device wouldn't survive the energy cascade. She kicked Thorin back and turned to Lai. Get to the escape pods. I'll trigger it. Ilara. That's an order. Someone needs to rebuild after this is over. As Lai reluctantly retreated, Ilara faced Axorin one last time. The Vexeri Prime Delegate regarded her with his 3 unblinking eyes. Why resist inevitability? He asked, genuine confusion in his voice. Your species will be preserved in the Nexus. Because we're human, Ilara answered simply. And humans don't surrender. She drove her combat knife into Xorin's central eye and launched herself toward the inversion device as the Vexeri's guards opened fire. Reaching the control panel, she slammed her palm onto the activation sequence. The generator crystal pulsed with blinding light as the inversion cascade began. The quantum field that connected all Vexeri technology, including the neural networks controlling processed humans, began to collapse and reverse. Throughout Earth, enhanced humans suddenly stopped mid-action as the Vexeri control signal faltered. In processing centers worldwide, resistance forces watched in amazement as their seemingly hopeless battle turned in their favor. Vexeri ships lost power and fell from the sky as their crystalline structures destabilized. Aboard the mothership, Ilara watched through failing life support as the quantum cascade tore through the vessel. The Nexus, built from the stolen consciousness of a dozen species, began to disintegrate as its component minds were suddenly freed from Vexeri control. Lai and the surviving team members reached the escape pods just as the mothership began breaking apart. From their vantage point in space, they witnessed the massive vessel fracture into countless crystalline shards that burned like stars as they entered Earth's atmosphere. In the days that followed, humanity began the long process of recovery. The neural modifiers dissolved as the Vexeri control signal disappeared, freeing billions from their mental enslavement. The processed who had not yet been fully integrated were recoverable, though many would carry psychological scars for life. The resistance emerged from hiding to help rebuild a world shattered by alien deception. Lai Chen became the director of the New Earth Defense Initiative, dedicated to developing technology that would protect humanity from future threats. The recovered Vexeri technology, now purged of its harmful elements, accelerated human development by centuries. 1 year after Operation Sunburst, humanity launched its first true interstellar vessel, built from repurposed Vexeri technology, but distinctly human in design and purpose. As the ship prepared to depart, Lai stood at the memorial erected to those who had fallen in the resistance, Sanjay, Rivera, and most prominently, Commander Ilara Reeves. We go to the stars now, Lai said quietly to the memorial. Not as conquerors or victims, but as humans. Free, independent, unbroken. He touched the engraved name of his fallen commander. They wanted our minds, but never understood our hearts. That was their mistake. The memorial bore a simple inscription beneath the names of the fallen. They crossed the line. Humanity struck back. As Earth's first starship departed for the galactic frontier, it carried with it humanity's indomitable spirit, and a warning to any who might threaten it again. The galaxy would soon learn what the Vexari discovered too late. Humanity was not prey. It was a force of nature.